Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston. And today we are back for episode 8 of my Houston Astros series here on OOTP 15, Out of the Park Baseball 15. And today we have the first year Major League Player Draft. Now, before we get into that, we are almost midway through the 2017 season. I did do a couple things off camera that I wanted to show you guys. First, I made a transactional move. I signed Jordan Walden to a 2-year, $4 million contract just before the season started, and he has been phenomenal for us as a closer. Did actually allow a run recently, but has been absolutely locked down, 13 saves on the year, and it's just been great for us, so it's a great signing. We bumped Joe Kelly out to, or I guess we shouldn't say bumped, because we actually sort of upgraded there, promoted him to the rotation. Nick Martinez back to the 8th inning role, and Kelly's really held down that 5 spot nicely, which is good. And we demoted Alan Webster to AAA, and then we also hired some staff. I'm not sure if there's actually a place where we can view it, but I guess we can, I don't know. Well, we ended up occupying, can I see our personnel? I guess not. Well, anyway, we ended up hiring, because we had a lot of empty coaching spots and stuff before the season started that I had forgot to fill on camera, so we ended up signing, I think we got Kevin Towers to be our scouting director, Jock Jones to be our hitting coach. I forget who our bench coach is, and I forget who our team trainer is, but we hired a bunch of those things, so I figured I'd let you guys know. So anyway, let's get into this first year player draft. Now, I've heard that this is sort of a weak draft class, just sort of reading the messages that I get or whatever, but we will have to see. So let's go until the next pick by Houston. And one thing that I always try to do in these drafts is try to find players that are highly scouted by not only our scouting director, but also the OOTP Scouting Association. So the best way to do that is we're looking at Kevin Towers' scouting, and we're going to go to the OSA ratings and sort of scroll through some of these guys. Try to find one like Cal Prince, although as a closer, is sort of highly touted by not only the head scout, but also the OSA ratings. And those guys are sort of few and far between. Here's a center fielder, Ivan Alatorre, and here's another closer, Doug Shelton, who's liked a little bit more by the OSA ratings than our head scout himself, Kevin Towers. We just went through some guys. Here's Dakota Donovan, a starting pitcher, who's projected to be strictly bullpen. Eric McMahon. Oh, no, let's keep going. All right, so we've scouted, or we've sort of named a few guys here to look at, and I think let's do continue draft. The first guy I want to go after is Ivan Alatorre. It seems like he's going to be a defensive center fielder. Well, not even. He really, he's going to be fast. I'm not sure what the appeal with him is, but his potential's high, and if nothing else, he could be a nice trade chip. He's already 22 years old, so yeah, hopefully he'll develop quickly. He does not want a lot of money either, so we'll go with him. Draft player. I should have drafted an offered slot. Whoops. And we'll continue. I should have auto-drafted to the next pick by Houston. And Ron Burns is still there. He is a starting pitcher. I do sort of want to beef up our rotation, or sort of our pitching prospects, but it does not seem like Kevin Towers likes Ron Burns too much. I don't see anyone else here that we sort of targeted from earlier, which is not good. I don't really want any of those closers, so maybe we'll take a risk on a guy like Ron Burns, who, although Kevin Towers does not like him, actually we are sort of not sure if we can afford to take a guy like him. The slot for here is only $580,000, and Ron Burns. Why is he Ron Doofus Burns? He's stupid? Nope, he's intelligent. Okay, well, we'll take a risk on him. I mean, I personally don't care about going over the budget. I just hope it doesn't have any long-term repercussions. Go to the next pick. And yeah, okay, it's our pick. So let's go back to the guys Kevin Towers liked. Because I trust Kevin Towers more than I trust the sort of game scouting. Jose Benitez is a guy that Towers likes. Ooh, he likes the big potential. Big power potential and big... Ooh, okay. Well, I like what Kevin Towers projects him as. And I trust Towers, so let's go after Jose Benitez. He just wants the slot. That's good. He's only 18 years old. I think that could be a good third-round pick. And let's go to the next pick by Houston. And here are the guys that Towers still likes. Another power guy. Here's a defensive shortstop, Austin McNicholas. I think we saw him in last year's draft. Justin Skisick. Ted Davis is a defensive shortstop. I think we'll go with... Let's go back. I think we're going to go with this catcher because I like what his potential ratings are based on Kevin Towers' assessment of him. So we'll go with Michael. I'm not even going to try and say that. Easy sign. That's good. 6'3". And then we will go to the next pick by Houston. We'll do a couple more picks. Let's go see what the OOTP Scouting Association likes. Manolo Rodriguez, defensive shortstop. Interesting. Hit 450 in high school. Jesus, those high school stats are outrageous. Let's look at Chad Allen. Kevin Towers thinks he's all right. Strictly bullpen though, but could help us out. I think we'll go with. It's impossible to do when he wants a lot of money. I don't think we can do that. Kevin Hodges, Jorge Smith. Strictly bullpen. A lot of these pitchers don't project very well. Looks like. Maybe we'll. Well, let's look at Austin McNicholas again. Be a very good defensive infielder. Can play center field too. I guess we'll go with Austin McNicholas. Drafting off for the slot, and then do the next pick. Let's go back to the OOTP Scouting Association, and then we'll take Manolo Rodriguez. And I think I'll cut out here. Alright, so we finished up the draft, and we're just going to try and meet all these guys' demands to start out. Hopefully they all take their contracts up, meet demand. Oh, did I meet his demand? I think so. Whoa, wait, Ron Burns. I did not mean to offer you that much. Okay, well, he's probably not going to take that. That's not good. Oh, well. Alright, well, anyway, so I think we'll take some time here to sort of evaluate how everyone's doing at this point in the season. We'll start with the pitching staff, which has been pretty decent. Bumgarner's been good, not great, but he's been fine, and he's been pretty much what we asked out of him. Garrett Cole struggled a little bit to start out the year, but is starting to come down a little bit at a couple of good starts. We'd like to see more out of him still, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see if he ever sort of pans out in Houston. He hasn't really been good since we got him, but Porcello has really stepped it up this year, which is good. You can see his ERA is down to 3.61. It's come down in recent weeks. Garrett Richards started out the year pretty well, and his ERA sort of ballooned lately after some rough starts. And Joe Kelly's really held down that 5 spot in our rotation, which is good to see because that's a spot we've had trouble with in recent years. And out of the bullpen, Jordan Walden's been great. Scott Elbert and Marco Gonzalez have been good. Looking for more out of Carson Smith and Anthony Bass. And if Bass continues to struggle, Aaron Crow is still a free agent who is looking for just a minor league contract, so he wouldn't cost us anything. So that's an option. In fact, I might even go through with that right now because I don't see Anthony Bass getting any better. Let's go to sign a free agent. And there's some good pitching free agents still out there. And if Garrett Richards continues to struggle, there's even potential starting replacements for him, like Edwin Jackson, and I think Jaime Garcia is still out here somewhere. Edison Volquez, Andrew Kashner, there's Jaime Garcia. So there's still some options. I'd like to see what Kevin Towers thinks of all these guys. But I think, Aaron Crow actually wants a major league contract now, so he might look elsewhere. In fact, I think we'll look at Burke Badenhop, who only wants a minor league deal, or even Darren O'Day. Ooh, Darren O'Day is off from a minor league contract, and hopefully he accepts that. Simulate ahead of day. Oh, Dan Augustin. Okay, I don't remember drafting him. Whoa, Adam Wolf got suspended 80 games. But let's try to simulate ahead of day. Alright, so we got Darren O'Day. So we will call him up to the bigs. Place on the active roster. Go to the pitching staff, and we'll put Darren O'Day as a middle reliever. Alright, and then I'm going to simulate ahead till the All-Star break. So until then, I'll be back. Alright, so it's worth noting here that Ron Burns did not sign with us. But But we did get a compensation pick for him. We got the number 10 pick in the second round for the next year draft. So I thought that was worth noting. And yeah, that's that. Alright, so we are just about at the All-Star break, and we have just overtaken Texas for the division lead. We are 20 games over 500. We, I think, won 5 of our last 6 games going into the break. Actually, we still have one more game. But we're 1 game out of Texas now. Texas, I don't know if I showed you guys, but even though we got off to that really good start, we were 30-21 or whatever, Texas was like 34-17. They were doing even better, but we swept to them recently. Let's try to find that series. Maybe it was last month. Yeah, here it is. We had a big 3-game sweep. We were 3 games behind coming into the series, and our pitching really did it for us that entire series. So, and then we've come out and we've won our last 5 games, and we're just really playing well right now. And I'm really excited. We're 20 games over 500. Team is really starting to click. And let's take a look at who got to the All-Star game for us. It looks like no pitchers. Well, actually, Joe Kelly and Jordan Walden. So Joe Kelly, a guy who came into the year as a number 5 starter, has really stepped it up and is an all-star. Wow. And Jordan Walden, who's become an elite closer for us. I mean, look at that ERA. His whip is .77. Wow, he is just phenomenal. And we'll keep going, see if anyone else got in. Looks like Alex Gordon. Ooh, look at that slash line. 296, 383, 478. Wow, that's Jackie Bradley. Jesus. He's having a good year. Let's go back. Oh, no, not too far. I do want to see Alex Gordon's stats. He's projected 5 wins. Nice. His ratings aren't that high, or at least Kevin Towers doesn't think much of him. But either way, so that is that. Let's play this last game. Can we get a win? I hope so. Nice. Awesome. So we win. We go into the break 1 game ahead of the Rangers for the division. And we'll take a look at how guys are doing. So yeah, I think, geez, I can't even remember if I showed you guys how they were doing when at the draft or during the draft. But anyway, Castro's having a great year for us, 835 OPS. John Singleton is having a fine year, slugging very high as always. OBP not too high. Sometimes Singleton goes on these hot streaks and he gets his average and his OBP up a little bit, but he's not a big walker. You can see his eye discipline's only 11, and it's only 12 with the OSA rating. So really, he's going to hit for more power than anything else for us. But Billy Butler's been okay. OPS is right around 800. Altuve and Fontana have been so-so. Chris Bryant's still doing all right. His ISO power is ridiculous, but he's having the same problem Singleton is. Can't really put bat on ball, and he doesn't walk a lot. So he's pretty much going to be what Jonathan Singleton is, which is fine. It's fine having 2 of those guys. Alex Gordon has been great for us. He's an all-star. Polanco has been all right. And Springer, who, once again, I can't remember if I showed you guys at the beginning of the episode how they were doing, but Springer got off to an awful start to the year, but he's heated up lately. As you can see, all his OPS has jumped 20 points in the last 5 games. So that is good. He wants to be at the top of the lineup. He is hitting 3rd. Correa has been okay. I'd like to see more out of him. But, I mean, the guys with the really high ratings like Correa and Springer, when they go cold, I don't get worried about it. I have faith in them sort of rebounding. But the pitching for this team has been what has carried us, and bullpen included. Come on, he's the closer. Bullpen included, because we've had, Darren O'Day's been great since we got him. Elbert's been good. Gonzalez has been good. Martinez and Chapman have been okay. Martinez better as of late, which is good. Kelly's been an all-star. Cole's been really good. He's really bounced back from a rough start to the year. Bumgarner's been fine. Porcella's been fine, and Richards has been, he's been Garrett Richards. What can I say? He's pretty much that's what Garrett Richards is going to give you. But either way, so that's pretty much that. I don't have too many concerns about this team. There's one trade in particular I would like to make, and I'm going to keep it kind of a secret for now. But if something pops up, I'm still going to sort of explore options. I would say areas where we'd like to sort of improve our second base, just because we don't really, Altuve and Fontana have been okay this year, but those aren't exactly players who I really trust to keep up their good production, and I'm not necessarily too committed to them, whereas I'm very committed to someone like, Gregor Polanco, despite his sort of, modest year so far. I, have faith in Polanco, and I'm sort of invested in him. I'm not looking to upgrade that spot. But anyway, the only other thing I can think of doing is potentially moving Billy Butler, just because Justin Williams in our AAA system, we'll go to rosters and transactions, he has been phenomenal this year. As you can see, he's slugging. Actually, he hasn't been as good as I thought he was. His stats have come down a little bit in recent weeks, but he's doing really well. He's happy, which is good. I don't want him to get frustrated playing in AAA right now, but my long-term plan is to let Williams be the DH next year, just because Butler's expiring after this year. He asked for an extension, or he wanted those talks to begin, but I don't plan on re-signing him. He's been really good for us. He was really good last year, and he's been fine this year. But I'd like to turn that over to a younger player and probably a better player long-term in Justin Williams. There's also one other player that I can't seem to find. Maybe he was struggling a little bit and possibly got demoted to single A. I really cannot find him. Wow. Maybe he's hurt. Good chance he's hurt, actually, now that I think about it. And yes, he is. Wow, we have a lot of players here. But yeah, Ariel Ovando also he's been playing pretty well. He was highly rated at one point. He seems to have come down a little bit. But he's a player that could work our way into our future a little bit, or work his way into the future. Look at all of these prospects we've hurt, though. This is not good. It's not good for trying to make trades either, but Nicholas Quintana, he's rated nicely by the OSA. Wow, we have so many prospects hurt. Luckily, no big leaguers hurt, which I guess we'd prefer it that way. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to explore around the trade block a little bit. And like I said, one trade in particular, which hopefully I'll be able to pull off. But until then, I'll be right back. All right, so here is the trade. And I'm really, I've been working on this for half an hour, 45 minutes now. And I finally cracked the code, sort of. There's always sort of a secret player in a lot of these trades that the other team really, really wants. And in this case, it's Garrett Richards, who has been good for us this year, but he's really never put it together like I wanted him to, like he has in real life this year. And he's a fine starter, and he's going to do well in Pittsburgh for a staff that needs him. We're also going to be giving up Nolan Fontana, a guy that they are really high on. Towers likes him as well. He's been all right this year, but I don't know, Pittsburgh's really high on him. They won't do this trade without him. They also really like Alex White and Preston Tucker. Tucker's one of our prospects. We're going to be picking up Jonathan VR, though, who has been phenomenal for them this year. And yes, I'm getting VR back. Sort of feel like he's almost like the final piece to our puzzle, sort of this, this first great Astros team under our new regime, with all these top prospects and all that stuff. And I think VR is sort of that missing piece. We flipped him in the Garrett Cole trade, and this is a team that I've done a lot of trading with because they've been rebuilding a lot since this started. So we've been able to sort of pick off some of their better players like Garrett Cole and Gregory Polanco, and now we're going to be picking up Jonathan VR, and we're also going to pick up Lewin Diaz, who they do not like. The OOTP does not like. He's 20 years old, but Kevin Towers really likes him. Thinks he'd be a big power bat, so I think he's worth it as a throw-in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is a huge trade, and I'm really excited, and I can't put him in the trade. I'm sort of just curious to sort of test the waters on not Lewin Diaz, on Josh Bell here as one of their top power hitting outfield prospects. Let's try the make this work now option. I'm sort of curious to see what they're thinking here, and yeah, they are not giving up Josh Bell for nothing. So we'll go back and we'll take Josh Bell out of the trade. I was just sort of curious. Figured why not, but yeah, we're gonna do this trade. Oh no, I don't want to make this work. It's already working. Whoops. Go back. And we're keeping Jose Altuve out of it. Altuve is going to become our backup infielder. Yeah, never mind. They agree to this. So let's complete this trade. And yes, we traded for an all-star. Jonathan VR was an all-star. He was one of their better players, so I'm excited to get him. He's having a phenomenal year. Probably the best year of his career. Yeah, he really has not had great years in the major leagues. I think he had a good year in 2014 with us, but has not really put it together since then. He's finally starting to put it together in Pittsburgh, and maybe they're selling high on him a little bit. I could totally see that because his hitting ratings are not great, but he's putting together a great year right now, and we are headed hopefully for the playoffs. So I'm sort of trying to put all my eggs in one basket for this year. So we're going to need to replace Garrett Richards on the pitching staff, and I do have a couple players in mind which we're going to try and sign. Now, because we freed up the Garrett Richards money, we have money to sign a free agent. So we are going to look at starting pitchers and try to get the best overall. Now, we could go after a guy like Jaime Garcia, who's been a little bit better, I would say, than a guy like Edwin Jackson over the last couple of years. But Jackson is rated a little bit higher. Has not had, I would say he hasn't been as good as Garcia. Sort of leaning towards Garcia just because he has been better over those couple of years. Plus, he gives us another lefty. Andrew Cashner, it's not been great. Who's the guy above him? Jake Buchanan. We used to, wow, was he released? I think we had him. Yeah, he was in our AAA system for a while. Towers still likes him. He's 27 years old at this point, but I'm going to go after Jaime Garcia. I think he's the guy I've sort of targeted for a while now, and he's the guy I've had in mind, so we're going to offer him 1 year, and let's see if we'll take $1.5 million just to save that extra cash. It's been offered in case we do want to go after another starter. But yes, fan reaction, our interest has gone up. I would suspect so, sort of bringing back Jonathan Villar. So I'm really excited to bring him back, and I'm sure he is in our players designated for assignment. Right? Yeah. So we want to put VR on the active roster. And I think Lewin Diaz is going to go to AAA. He was not having a ton of success at the major league level this year, but he is a left-handed bat, so he wouldn't be a potential platoon option with we have to put him on the 40-man roster. He wouldn't be a potential platoon option with Justin Williams in the future at DH, but at the same time, if Williams does flop, it just gives us insurance. So we have two big bats in our AAA at AAA right now, which I'm excited about. And Kevin Towers likes them both. The reason we were able to get Diaz is because the OSA ratings do not rate Diaz very favorably. But either way, he's a big power bat, and I am excited to have him. So anyway, and I was really excited not to have to give up Ryan Mountcastle. I was really thinking about giving up Mountcastle. Is pretty much the bar none best prospect in our system at this point, and I was really thinking about just doing a 1-for-1 Mountcastle for VR, which they would have accepted, and probably I would have tried to get them to throw in Diaz or someone else. But Mountcastle is just a beast. He's really going to be he's going to give us some sort of flexibility if we have a lot of these young guys, and once they get towards sort of their arbitration years or whatever, and if they get too expensive and we need to let some of them go, or one of them in particular go due to money issues, I think Mountcastle sort of provides an insurance option for them. So that's pretty much sort of what I'm excited about with Mountcastle. But anyway, I'm sort of rambling at this point, so let's sort of get on with it. VR, second base, and this really completes our lineup, I think. He will be batting ninth, although I think he should bat second. If he's going to give us a 382 OBP, I think we should bat him second and basically just bump everyone one down in the order. I think that is a better idea. Let's do that. And then VR again, put him here. We'll put Altuve as the backup second. We want VR as the backup shortstop. I don't think Altuve plays shortstop. No, he plays very poorly defensively. So yeah, let's make sure we got that set here. We want VR as the backup. So that way, if Cray ever needs a day off, VR plays short and Altuve plays second. And that's sort of the thinking behind that. And lefties, here we want VR. I'm pretty sure the L's are silent, but if they aren't, you can correct me in the comments, and I will. That would be much appreciated. All right, and then I'm not even sure if we have any more games this year against non-DH teams, but hey, maybe the World Series is in our cards, so who knows at this point. I'm thinking so, though. I mean, this team is, like I said sort of earlier in the episode, we're starting to click at the right time, and I think the VR edition is a good one. So anyway, I might do some shopping around for a potential extra starter just because we are still a little bit weak at the back end of the rotation now with Garcia. I don't have total faith in him, so might look at other options there. I think it's something I'm going to do, but I don't really have anyone in mind, and I don't know. It's sort of just testing the waters on maybe getting another starter. Plus, I don't really know if we have, and we've really depleted a lot of our farm system in really the last 12 months or so, sort of trying to pick up guys like Jonathan Villar. So, anyway, I'm going to go out and sort of explore that part of the trade market, and if I can't find anyone, then I will be back shortly, and we'll get on with the rest of the season. All right, so as I sort of expected, not a lot of opportunity to sign for a cheap starting pitcher from a rebuilding team at this point. So we will go to the... where is Jaime? I guess we have to simulate ahead of day maybe for him to sign. Yeah, he might actually take a couple days to sign here. All right, so we'll get to simulating here until hopefully Jaime Garcia signs in the coming days. Let's set up our rotation for the post All-Star break. I want Bumgarner starting it off. Put Kelly fourth for now. And I think we have an off day here, trade deadline day. Yes, we do. So everyone should be able to come back on short rest. Houston Street. Okay, now this is interesting because it's Houston Street for Ben Revere, who's a guy that's made it known that he's unhappy with us. But I sort of like Ben Revere in the role that he's in as a speedster off the bench, especially come postseason time. It also cost us Michael Curry, which is a guy that I'm not intent on giving up. So I think we'll decline that for now. There are plenty of good relievers in the free agency. So there is one last thing that I sort of want to try, and I just had a thought about this, but Billy Butler is a guy that I do not plan on re-signing, and I don't think I want to trade him because he's been very good for, well, I won't say very good for us this year, but he's been good for us this year, and he fits that DH role well. But Justin Williams is MLB ready, and with the addition of the Diaz guy that we just got from Pittsburgh, I think that makes Billy Butler expendable. And I'm just sort of curious what he could bring in, especially in pitching. And maybe, not even necessarily immediate help with pitching prospects, but it looks like he is not bringing in anything outside of some relievers. Jameson Taillon, remember when we almost traded for him? Yeah, he is not doing too well. He's a reliever for the Pirates right now. I could try and manual trade for a pitching prospect, but I don't think we're going to get anyone very good. Let's see what Kevin Towers has to say on any of these guys. Doesn't look like he's very impressed. Yeah, that looks Cobb. I don't know when the last time Cobb has started. Looks like not in the immediate past. But anyway, so I guess we'll pass up on dealing Butler. I'm sort of tempted to cut away and try to find a pitching prospect for him, but I think we're good as it is. So we'll let Butler walk at the end of the year, but for now we'll hold on to him. And we can sort of use the free money to try and get a pitcher potentially. I'm just rambling and thinking out loud, but Jesus, Jackie Bradley's been good. What's his WAR? Yeah, 5.1. He's been phenomenal. Jesus. Wish you could do that in real life. So yeah, let's get the sign in here, Jaime Garcia, shall we? We're gonna have to skip a spot in the rotation here in just a moment. There we go. Contract signed. So let's put him on the active roster. That gives us 25 guys, right? Yes, it does. Pitching staff, and Garcia will take over that 5th spot. So we'll see how he does. We still have money left over. If Garcia struggles, I will not be hesitant to potentially go after a guy like Edwin Jackson. One last thing I want to touch on here is Justin Williams in AAA, who I've touched on before in the episode. But my plan for him for the rest of this year is to call him up at the end of the year. Probably, what I want to do is get him eligible for the postseason roster. So try to get him on the roster on August 31st. It'll probably come at the expense of Matt Duffy. And what my plan is he will be a bat off the bench come October. And then what I might even do is, if Garcia struggles, I might use that August 31st date to try and skip over his spot in the rotation, potentially DFA him or release him, and call up Lewin Diaz. Because I'd like to have both Diaz and Williams on the postseason roster, because I think they just represent good players to have off the bench, especially in pinch hitting situations. They're both lefties, so it's not imperative that we get both of them on the team, but I'd like to have at least Williams. So that's what I'm going to try and do. It's going to take some roster manipulation, but basically to be eligible for the postseason roster, you have to be on the roster at midnight on September 1st. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of sort of roster manipulation. Like I said, I definitely want Revere on the postseason roster, as well as Altuve and Lou Marson as our backup catcher. But we're only going to go with a 4-man rotation. This is all assuming we make the playoffs, because we played so well, and I have total faith in us making the playoffs. But we only need 4 starters for a playoff rotation, so that's why I'm saying if Garcia struggles and we sort of end up letting him go come that date, we could release him and then use his empty roster spot just for that one day on getting Diaz up there or whatever. So anyway, we will see. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. So I'm thinking the next episode we're going to be going through the postseason, which I'm very excited. I'll actually play the games for you guys. And it's not actually playing the games. It's just going to be like going through the... It's sort of... I think you can even manage the game a little bit. But I think it's mainly just watching a play-by-play of it, which is not that interesting because I've done it before and it's pretty boring. So anyway, that is not important though. That's going to do it. So I'm going to save the game and get out of here. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and hope you guys are excited for hopefully the first October in a while in Houston. So anyway, that's going to do it, and I'm out. Peace.